This is the Hanging with A podcast.
What's up? This is the Hanging with A podcast coming to you always from Brockton, Massachusetts. Before we even get into the interview, I just want to say thank you to everybody, to all my subscribers. The Hanging with A podcast is at 10,600 subscribers. I tell you guys all the time, that doesn't happen without the love and support of all of you. So I just want to say thank you very much for all the love and support. You can find the Hanging with A podcast on YouTube. I'm available on Spotify. You can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, my Facebook group. I say all the time, I'm all over the place. I have two gentlemen here that I think very highly of. I think they're doing some great things. They have created, in essence, their own version of the verses. As we all know, the verses was a huge thing during COVID and all like that. They have recreated that. And they were nice enough to get on here and join me for episode 54 to talk about their accomplishments and all the great things that they're doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Dom and E.
Thank you.
No problem at all, man. Thank you. Tell me a little bit about yourself, man. Tell the people a little bit about yourself, both of you.
As far as I'm concerned, just a lover of music, lover of movies. That's our background, essentially. And, as far as faceoff, that's a whole conversation. I don't know how much time, but, it's a whole conversation that's there. But we just love the conversations with music and movies and, trying to provide something different out here.
Absolutely. Two friends, we met each other through work. And, through conversation, we realized that we had the same love of music. And we both happened to work at a movie theater at the time. So we also had a love of movies. And then just to be able to transition that into, what we've created here with the face-offs and the Ease Place and the podcast and the face-offs that we've been doing. It's been a real good outlet to make public the private conversations that we've been having. And so, it's just something that we really enjoy doing.
Yeah. So you guys created the face-off. Like, what went behind that? Like, what was it? Like, hey, you know what? This is something I want to do. Like, how did you guys get involved with saying, like, you know what? I want to do this? Because it's incredible, man. Like, what you guys are building and what you have built. So tell us a little bit about that. Like, how did that even come about?
What I find funny about it, and you did say recreate the verses, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna let E tell the story because E was actually the proprietor of this. But it's actually, the face-offs were before the verses. And so I'm gonna let E tell that.
Yeah.
All right, so real brief because it could be all day conversation. 2017, Swiss Beats, Just Blaze, they had a battle. And from that, I just thought it was a great idea. I remember hitting him when I saw it, and our good friend Gamal, may he rest in peace. And basically, Gamal and I started getting into a heavy conversation about what a Timberland versus Neptune's battle would sound like.
Yeah.
So, long story short, we were supposed to do like our own thing, but it didn't quite work out that way. But I was invested in doing it. So 2017, we had, I was calling it Battle of the Beats back then.
Yeah.
So we rented out a spot in DC. Shout out to Sud House Bar in DC.
Yep.
And I played DJ and did a Timberland versus Neptunes all night. And the response was great. And so the next 3 years we did one. And then that led to, of course, 2020, which was COVID, and that's kind of where I'm going to pass it off to Dom here.
Yeah, so I went from being, I was a spectator, I was a patron, looking forward to the parties that he was doing, and then when COVID happened, we started doing IG Live, and I had to slide in because at the time I wasn't an active participant. and then so started doing the IG lives with him. This is at the same time Versus was popping off, and we had to figure out a way to differentiate because people automatically call it Versus. You know, once it's like even if you drink Pepsi, people will say Coke or something like that. So we had to, you know, differentiate. So we came up with the name Face-Offs. So you could see the difference between what, you know, Swiss and Timberland was doing with versus, no pun intended,
Yeah.
what we were doing with
Yeah.
these Face-Offs.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, it's dope. I remember when Timbaland and Swiss Beats did that too. Um, I think that's one of my favorite ones is when they went back and forth because I just think very highly of them as producers. Probably two of the best producers to ever produce music, and they've given us a lot of hits over the years. So when they did that, I was like, this is pretty dope. And I mean, I think that happened around like COVID. You're right, we're all trapped inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, we don't got nothing else better to do. So it just was that was a huge thing. I remember like setting up the computer to see a lot of those verses. When did you guys fall in love with hip hop?
Ooh, well, I go back to on the podcast. I tell this story that the first song that made me love hip hop was "I'm Bad" by LL Cool J.
Okay.
You know, seeing that video, hearing that song, I fell in love with hip hop right then and there. Begged my mom to get me the bigger and deafer cassette tape, and you know, I listened to that tape till it nearly popped. And so I really fell in love in that time with hip hop, and it just grew from there. It really did. But you know, really the 90s is really where I was a 90s baby as far as hip hop goes. From 92 to like 97 is really where I got my knowledge and really understanding truly hip hop. Because when I was listening to LL, I couldn't really understand everything. I just knew I liked it. I just knew I felt it. But when I really started understanding it was in the 90s, and just really fell in love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a similar story. I tell this on the podcast too. I wasn't allowed to listen to any kind of rap or anything like that. So, you know, I would go off elsewhere and listen to music. And I was grateful to have a friend up the street. She was big into hip hop at the time, and she let me listen to Snoop's Doggy Style. And from there, I loved it. Even though I was young, I didn't quite understand the wording and, you know, everything that goes along with it, but
Yeah.
I loved the sound, I loved the culture, and then, you know, from there, like Dom said, you know, the 90s really you know, took me on a different thought process as far as music goes.
Yeah. I think what did it for me is in '97 I think Jay-Z came out with In My Lifetime. Um and I was living in Fort Meade at the time. Shout out to everybody who lives in Fort Meade. Shout out to Maryland in general.
Yeah,
Um
wow.
yeah. Um but I was living in Fort Meade, and I remember going out to the PX because it was an army base, and I
Hmm.
remember like it was either I either got that or I got Ghetto D by Master P. Um, so I was like, you know what? Let me get the Jay-Z album, and that's when I fell in love with like hip hop, and also that's when Jay-Z became my favorite MC of all time. Um, but I also would go on to like um, have a Master P was like one of my big inspirations also because I spent time in Florida with my grandmother, so I had the best of both worlds. I'm from Maryland, but then I also went down south, so like I got the Master P, I got the Cash Money, I got that whole thing. You know what I mean? So I was able to bring that up when I would come back from Maryland. All my friends was like, "Damn!" Like what I'm saying, I was like putting them on to music that they never even heard. So,
Yep.
but yeah, it was In My Lifetime by Jay-Z. Um, who has been some of y'all biggest inspirations and biggest supporters in starting this and doing the face-offs and your podcast also?
So you just said it. Jay-Z is a big influence. You know, Jay-Z is spoiler alert, is going to be my favorite artist. And you see the Brooklyn cap on. But it was so the inspiration, actually it was funny because we're both Jay-Z fans, but what actually connected us was Joe Budden.
Yeah.
Joe Budden
Oh,
was the
okay.
one that we were because not everybody we met in 2005, so Joe Budden was popping a little bit,
Yeah, you
but
are.
not everybody's a Joe Budden fan. So when you or that knows Joe Budden beyond Pump It Up.
Yeah,
And so when you can talk to somebody about the real Joe Budden, the mixtapes, the music series and things like that, it was real, and it's just real nice to have that conversation with somebody that knew what they were talking about,
yeah,
and so that's what really kind of connected us, and was that kind of conversation. And the podcast, which is the Are You in That Mood podcast, it's on
mhm.
our streaming sites. It's on
Yeah,
YouTube
make
at
sure y'all tap make sure y'all tap into that because it's a good
yeah.
podcast, man. So make sure y'all tap in, please.
And we really wanted, again, we use it as an outlet to discuss, when like Billboard and Vibe just recently had a top 50 greatest rappers list.
Yeah, yeah,
And so we have a series of podcasts, I think three of them, that
Mhm.
we actually took time to break them down. And those are conversations that we would have at work,
Yeah.
that we would normally have at
Yep.
work. And it felt good to be able to actually share that and hear how our opinion compared to the opinions of the masses and things like that. So that's really one of the things that really made us want to do the podcast and really connect it.
And I,
yeah,
I will add on his son, who, he's an adult, but at the same time, he's, much younger than us. Really around the time of the pandemic, or a little bit after when we were able to kind of kick it with each other, his son Jordan would always come up with questions, and he kind of like this, okay, who's in your Mount Rushmore of blank? And then we
yeah,
would answer, and he was always yearning for the knowledge of, okay, what did my dad and my friend used to listen to
Yep.
compared to what I listen to, or it could be anything. So that was a big inspiration as well.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I feel like the music now, um, it's hard for me to kind of like, listen to a lot of the music now. I try to because, I've had the opportunity to interview a lot of talented young artists that you know what I mean, that, I think, have should be hopefully in the industry at some point one day because I think that a lot of them are talented. But outside of like, I listen to a lot of like unsigned artists,
Hmm.
like artists that are like looking for their chance, waiting for their break because I feel like the artists that I have come across, they just seem to be more hungrier than the people that are actually in the industry right now making music. My wife and I had this conversation a couple of nights ago. Um, we were talking about female MCs, and we were talking about like how everything Ice Spice comes out with sounds the same.
Mm.
Um, and she was like, I like Cardi, I like Nicki Minaj, and everybody like that. Um, and I'm a Nicki Minaj fan. I love Nicki. I think, I grew up in that '90s era type hip hop, and I think if you put Nicki in the middle of all that, I think she would have been okay. I don't
Mm.
know if she would have been as big as she is now, but I think she would have been fine. But I'm always curious to hear what young people think about hip hop because some of their favorite rappers is Little Baby, NBA YoungBoy. I know a lot of them love Pop Smoke.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I've tried to listen to NBA YoungBoy, it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
But I have tried. But I'm always curious to hear like, what their top 10 is and who they really like to listen to.
And that's the corner I'm on. What you just said is pretty much, I can repeat that as well. And try to get into a lot of the current hip hop. And, we're always mindful of sounding like the,
Yeah.
the Clint Eastwood,
Yeah.
Gran Torino, get off my lawn
Yeah. Yeah.
type thing. And I remember, back in the 90s, I remember, my elders saying, "Oh, this music is not like the '80s was, or like the '70s was." So now I was like, now I become that person.
Yeah.
Like man, back in the '90s,
Yeah.
these '90s artists would kill these artists
Yeah.
now.
Right.
But it's just, again, it's a feeling. I fell in love with hip hop because of the feeling, even though I couldn't understand what I was hearing, and I just don't have that same feeling when it comes to a lot of the, we'll say, new generation of artists that come out. And I do appreciate you putting light to some of these unsigned artists because you just did it. I just listened to your interview with HD, and
Yeah.
who I wasn't aware of, Brooklyn
Yeah.
MC, and I listened to Face, front to back.
Yeah,
And I
HD is
really
nice.
enjoyed it. I even told E, I said, "Yo, this album is dope if you haven't checked it out." And but I would have had no idea about HD if I, didn't listen to you do the interview with them. And
Yeah,
so it was dope. So it's nice
I'm a,
to know
yeah,
that there's music that I would like to listen to out there. I
yeah.
just need to find
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I'm gonna send y'all when we get off of this. There's a lot of young hip hop YBN legacy out here in Rhode Island. He's dope. Kay, who's a female rapper out here in Rhode Island, she's dope. Um, Kari Melodic out in Cali.
Mhm.
She's dope. But there's a rapper here in Boston, Shy Neef,
Mhm.
who's really, really good. I'm gonna send y'all his album. He was my album of the year this year. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like I didn't do an industry album of the year, even though I could have did like Nas's Magic or I could have did Larry June and Alchemist. I did Shy Neef, man, because I think that that essence and like what we grew up on, he's doing. It's like that Griselda sound, that
Mhm.
Okay.
boom bap Griselda sound. And I feel like Griselda's like trying to bring that back, right? With
Right.
Benny and West Side Gun. Um, but like when I listened to HD's album Face to Face and I said it to him on the episode, I was like, this is what hip hop is. You know what I mean? And he had something on there for everybody on that album. And so it was a great body of work, man. But I'll definitely send y'all some more because there's a ton of talented MCs out here doing their thing, you
Please
know?
appreciate that.
Um, when you guys are doing the face off and you coming up with these, who you gonna put up against who, how do you guys come up like how do you do that? Because I know like y'all do R&B, y'all do rap, y'all do I think y'all had Chris Brown and Usher one time, which was pretty dope. You had Jay-Z and Nas. Y'all had Kanye. I watched the Kanye one. I forgot who
Mhm.
y'all had him up against.
Great.
Um, but
Yeah.
that was dope because we all missed the old Kanye. So, you know, so like when y'all are creating this and y'all doing y'all thing, like how do y'all come up with that?
Well, I mean, first things first, we're fans of the music.
Yep.
So just being able to have an ear and, say, you know what? I would like to hear so and so versus so and so. Let's see what that sounds like. And sometimes we just throw things out there. Other times there's people that give us, opinions like, hey, would you ever do a face off with Drake? Yeah, sure. Drake versus Kanye. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or, as far as R&B goes, we love the 90s R&B, but we love 80s and 70s R&B. So,
Hmm.
just trying to get a good blend of music that anybody can listen to.
And one of the advantages that I feel that we have in this format is that it doesn't necessarily have to be artist versus artist. Granted, we do a lot of artist versus artist, but we've also done label versus label. We've done Bad Boy versus So Def.
Yep.
We've done producers versus producers. We've done the Timbaland versus Neptunes. Swiss Beats versus Kanye and things like that. We'll do sound or genre versus genre. One of our in live face off parties that we had was a celebration of 30 years of music from 1990 to 2020, and where I represented 1990 to 1990, I mean to 2005, and he represented 2006 to 2020. So it's different things that we can do that necessarily versus couldn't do because they were more, they had to get the artist versus the artist. They're not going to get the most they're going to get is the Locks versus Dipset, but you're not going to get all of Bad Boy versus,
Right.
all of So Death. Or we did a Young Money Cash Money versus
Yep.
Rockefeller Rock Nation. We did that as well. So it's different things that we can do. And then once you open that drawer where you're coming up with different unique ideas, then it's like, what else? We've done a
Hmm.
winter versus summer battle,
Yeah.
which is all songs that are pretty much associated with heat
Right.
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
songs that are associated with cold
Right.
and
Yeah.
things like that. And it's fun for the audience because if you know an artist versus artist, you can kind of guess what songs you're going to hear.
Yep.
But when it's a creative topic like that, you're just surprised at what you're going to hear.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to really get people to think like beyond what they know they're going to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean it's. I mean I look forward to it, man, and I love the Kanye and Drake, because that's what I mean that's the thing right now. And then I threw out a guy there to y'all when I was on the live, the whole Griselda thing. Like that would be
Mhm.
dope. You can do like Griselda. I mean, put them up against Wu Tang or something because I feel like they got the
Mhm.
same they got the same sound almost. But
Yep.
it's incredible, man, watching y'all, man. What seeing what y'all do, man. So thank you for that. And just love just loving hip hop, man, because not a lot of people love it. You know what I mean? Or not a lot of people appreciate, you know what I mean, the essence and the art of everything that goes into it.
Right.
Right.
And we
Go-
appreciate you listening and tuning
Thank you,
in.
man.
We always tell people we appreciate the feedback.
Yes.
We appreciate people tuning in. We're doing this on Fridays, Saturday nights. There's a million things that people can be doing at that time, but they're taking the time to tune into what we're doing.
Hmm.
And one of our sign off is I stole it from Jay-Z, but it's you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us.
Right.
We appreciate that.
Yes.
And we
Right. Right.
really mean that. There's literally anywhere you could be right now on the internet,
Yeah.
but you're here with us.
Yeah.
So that's one
We
of the
appreciate
things that
it.
we definitely appreciate.
Yeah.
Right. No, I definitely appreciate you guys, and I'm pretty sure everybody else out there do as well. What's something that inspires you?
Wow. Being creative. Um I really take pride in creating the best playlist, and a lot of preparation goes. We're not jukeboxes. We're not just pressing songs and playing it. We're really seeing what makes sense, what goes together, what blends I can do, how can I actually incorporate my DJ skills into the playlist, and because we're facing off against each other. I know the knowledge of music that this guy has. So I know if I want to come out the winner, the victor in this face off, then I got to bring it because I know he's going to bring it. So bringing that creativity, trying to think of what can I play that he is definitely not expecting me to play.
Yeah.
But once he hears it, he's going to go, "Oh my God, I cannot believe you just did that to me." That's what my goal is, and that's one of the things. That's the main thing I take pride in is preparing my playlist and really presenting the best that I can present.
I like
Same,
that.
same with me. And also providing something different. I think
Yeah.
they when hopefully when people tune in, oh, okay, they're doing R&B, they're doing '90s R&B tonight. Oh, okay, they're doing Jay-Z versus Kanye tonight. Something different each time that makes people look forward to it, and as well as I'm trying to impress him as well. Like I know the knowledge he has. We're trying to impress the viewers. Like, oh, I haven't heard this song in 20 years. How these guys know about this? So constantly thinking of new ideas and, keeping it fresh.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys, so DJing, like, when did you get into that? Like DJing, mixing, and doing all that?
The pandemic. I learned during the pandemic. I always credit E because I always give the credit to him for saying that he really woke something up in me that I didn't know was there. I didn't realize that was something, that a skill that I wanted to that I had and that I wanted to cultivate. And so when we started doing the lives, like literally my very first one on IG Live, I was playing from my cell phone. I was playing it from my cell phone, and then I graduated to the iPad. And then once I knew I really, I was trying to make the best playlist I could, and I just couldn't do certain things. So I went out and got a DJ controller, and really started practicing, and started honing the craft, and really just started going from there, and getting to the point now 4 years later that I really feel like I'm beyond being a novice. I was a novice before, and now I'm beyond being a novice, and yeah, so that was for me.
Okay. Yeah. 2017 when I saw the Just Blaze Swiss Beats battle, and not necessarily thinking I can blend songs like them yet, but seeing the crowd reactions when certain songs come on, I said that could be something I learned. So later on that year when we did the battle of the beats, I kind of dabbled. I wasn't anywhere near where I am today, but kind of dabbling with blending, going from Timberland to the Neptunes, and then pandemic. That was a time that I think a lot of creators really were able to create, because we had no choice. We had
Now
to
you
sit
had
down.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had sit down time. So definitely the pandemic was a big portion of that.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's when I started this podcast, 2019. I started it during the pandemic because I was like, you know what, I want to do something creative.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I started in 2019, man, and still just doing my thing, man. So shout out to the pandemic because I think it helped a lot of people out just to be grounded and just to sit for a minute
Yeah.
and come up with like different things and things that we could do as far as like building businesses or whatever you
Yeah.
chose to do during that time. So
Absolutely.
Yes.
um,
Yes.
it was very, very good. Um, top 5 albums of all time.
Woo.
Ooh.
Top 5. You only get 5.
You only get
Oh,
5. You want to
only get
start off?
5. All right, let me see. Well, I told you about Snoop's Doggy Style. That's always gonna
Oh,
be
that's a
up there for me.
masterpiece.
Um, Give me Jay-Z's Blueprint. I feel like Kanye's got to have something in there. Whether it's I like Graduation. That's my favorite Kanye project. So I'm gonna go Kanye Graduation.
Okay.
And I gotta go with Joe Budden. Mood music, either 2 or 3. Both of them are very sentimental to me. So
Wu Tang, end of the Wu, 36 Chambers, for sure. Jay Z, Reasonable Doubt. I do love Blueprint, but Reasonable Doubt was the album that I became a Jay Z fan, and so that one I hold very dear. Low End Theory, Tribe Called Quest. I
Mm,
really
yeah.
that's in my top 5 for sure. Ready to Die, Biggie, Notorious B.I.G. That is, and the infamous Mob Deep.
Okay.
Uh,
Before I
so
before I do my top 5, I want to ask you something because this is my opinion, and I want to see what y'all think.
okay,
So Rolling Stone named Ready to Die the greatest hip hop album of all time. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. I don't agree. All
okay,
right. The greatest hip hop of all time to me is Illmatic.
okay.
Um, I just think that my like for Nas to be 19 years old, I think people forget that part. You know what I mean? He was 19 years old. There's no skips on Ready to Die. There's no skips on Illmatic, and Illmatic to me is straight to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like if I've never been to Queens, when I put Illmatic on, I feel like I'm in Queens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, Biggie's Ready to Die. I think it's a phenomenal album. But when they named that, I was like, I would go with Illmatic, but I don't know. Like, I mean, what do you like? Would you guys agree with that, or do you have another album that you think is the greatest hip hop album of all time?
That is a classic conversation.
yeah,
Ready to Die and Illmatic because they came out the same year,
yeah,
Yeah,
1994.
right.
And Illmatic came out first. And I remember I was a big reader of all of the hip hop magazines at the time, specifically The Source.
yeah,
And I remember The Source giving Illmatic a 5 mic rating, which
yeah,
was very rare.
yeah.
Very rare at the time. So I see 5 mics in the review. I'm going to get that album. I don't
Hmm.
care who it is.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
see 5 mics. I'm going to get it. And 5 mics for people that don't know if the sources, 5 mics was a certified classic
yeah.
immediately.
Yeah,
Off.
That's how you got your albums. You got your albums
Yeah,
based off the source.
yeah.
exactly. And Ready to Die was a 4.5, so it wasn't a 5 mic. So review wise, in the source, the Illmatic one. I And this is funny because this is one of the conversations that we've had in the podcast. I'm a Ready to Die fan. I feel it was. I think it was the beginning. Like the album starts off with him being born. Like it starts off with a skit, which ironically I actually do not like skits. I'm glad the whole skit era in in hip hop is gone because I did not like skits, but because I think a lot of skits were there just to be there, not necessarily to add to the album. So I like the story that Biggie, because it was Ready to Die and it went through his birth and that first skit to, spoiler alert if you've never listened to the album, to him shooting himself in the last song.
Yeah,
And I liked hit that journey along with the lyricism, the beats, and everything else that came along with it. You know, Primo, he has classic beats on Ready to Die. He has classic beats on Illmatic. I just really it connected with me more. Even I got Illmatic first, but I played Ready to Die more once Ready to Die came out. Me personally.
Okay.
That's I don't know how I can follow that, but you know, I'm gonna stay consistent.
Ironically,
There it is. The that Snoop album, Doggy Style. I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
it just, for a couple reasons, you know, Snoop really put the West Coast on his back. You know, I know Dre and the Chronic before that, but Snoop really became a superstar, and I credit him to being one of the first superstars. There's a lot of stars in hip hop, but I credit Snoop on being one of the first superstars, at least to my knowledge. And you know, that album, just from start to finish,
Yeah.
it sounds amazing, and it still sounds amazing. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna always say Snoop's Doggy Style for me.
but
Yeah.
I love that we can have this argument.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that we can have this argument about, because they're all great albums. They're
Yeah.
all classic, right? So it's like, I'm glad that we can, you know, have the barbershop talk about
Right.
regarding these, because I mean it just means that says so much great music that was made.
Yeah. When I had the DOC on here, shout out to the DOC,
Yes.
who's one of my favorite rappers of all time. To hear him talk about the stories of, because he was a part of the process in the Doggy Style.
Right.
He helped write the Chronic. I
Right.
mean, if you look at the album, the DOC is on the front of the cover.
Right.
Yep.
As far as like a writer and a producer, and just for him to talk about like what it was like during that time creating those albums, and how highly he thinks of Snoop Dogg as an MC. And he says all the time, like, Snoop Dogg was an MC. You know, he was an MC. You know what I mean? And I think there's a difference between an MC and a rapper. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people don't really like understand that. You know what I mean? I feel like a rapper they want the hits. They're gonna do the hits. They're gonna do what they need to do. And MC is longevity.
Yep.
They'll do the hits, but their B-side cuts are gonna be better than their hits. You know what I mean? A hit is just to kind of like reel you in. But
Right.
once they reel you in, they got you. And I feel like when you think about Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style, Biggie's, you know, Ready to Die, Nas's Illmatic, those are some incredible albums, man. So you know, very, very, I mean, just great albums in hip hop. My top 5, I have the DOC, No One Can Do It Better. I have Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders, who's my favorite. That's my favorite rap group of all time. I have Jay-Z's Blueprint. I have Big Daddy Kane's Long Live the Kane. And this one's look crazy, but I love this album. Jay Electronica's Written Testimony. I'm a big Jay Electronica fan. I just wish that he came up with more music, because I think if he came up with more music, I think Jay Electronica can be the best MC out right now. I don't think he cares about that. But Written Testimony, from start to finish, I feel like, again, it's an album straight to the point. I mean, we were blessed to get Jay-Z on a lot of that album. And I would argue with anybody that I think that's the best I've heard Jay-Z flow in a long time was on that album. I think Jay Electronica got the best out of him. But that's one of my favorite rap albums of all time. I love the Written Testimony. I put it in, I can listen to it, no skips. And I also learned a lot. Like I learned a lot about the Nation of Islam. You know what I mean? Louis Farrakhan and stuff like that through his music. It made me say, all right, look, let me tap into this, because I'm a Black History teacher also. I'm a Black History middle school teacher. Bridge Boston Charter School, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So, you know what I mean? Like, it gave me like just a lot of context also. So that would be my 5.
And I would be remiss if I didn't. I wanted to start off the interview in congratulating you on a couple things, actually. Congratulations on getting married.
Yes.
I know you got married in December, so
Yeah,
congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that.
Yes.
I'm a year and a half in on mine.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. He got both of us beat by by a lot of years. What
There
you
you go.
15 in?
It'll be 15
15
in
in.
April.
15, man. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Shout out
Congratulations
to both of you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. But congrats to you, and congratulations on the DOC interview. I know listening to you before the interview, during the interview, and after the interview, I know that meant a lot to you.
Yeah.
And brother, it was a great interview. I was happy that you were able to do that, and definitely congratulations. I know you said he's one of the people that you wanted to talk to.
Yeah.
No one could do it better. You just said that's in your top 5. Congratulations, man.
Yeah,
That's a huge
congratulations.
deal.
I
And
am.
it needs to be recognized for real.
Yeah, no, man, appreciate both of you, man. Thank you very much for that. It means the world to me. I got a lot of love, man, for that episode. And like people that know me, man, and just know how much I love hip hop and how much it means to me, they know how much that interview meant to me. You know what I mean? I remember being in Best Buy and picking that album up, and I just fell in love with that album. I fell in love with who he was as an MC. I fell in love with just everything about that album. Just says to me, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I just wish that he just never lost his voice. You know what I mean? And when I interviewed him, like you'll notice, like I didn't ask about the car crash
Yep.
because I wanted to give him his flowers because he deserves that.
Right.
Because he's one of the best MCs to ever do it. And what people don't understand is that he was from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But if he doesn't tell you that he's from Texas, you would think he was from New York the way that he was flowing because the West Coast didn't have a flow.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he kind of like, grabbed something, grabbed from everybody. He did reggae on that album. He did rock on that album. He did rap on that album. It's a phenomenal album. So I really, really appreciate that, man. Thank you very, very much. And shout out again to the DOC. It took me 3 months to get that interview with him, man. But I stayed persistent, and he came on. I didn't think he was gonna come on at first. Like we had talked all throughout the week. And then the day of, like, I didn't see like he was on Instagram because I didn't have his phone number. So I was like, yeah, man, I'm getting ready to go on. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get on here. He ain't gonna show up, but he showed up. He showed up.
That's dope, man.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Top 5 albums, top 5 MCs of all time.
So this is a little easier for me. So my list isn't crazy. Jay-Z is my favorite rapper.
That's my favorite. That's number 1 for me.
Yeah, he's my favorite rapper. Nas is number 2 for me.
Yep.
Biggie, Pac, 3 and 4.
Biggie, Pac, 3 and 4. Yeah.
Yep. And number 5, I gotta go for this. This is my personal top 5. I gotta go with the guy that started it off for me, LL Cool J.
There you go.
I gotta go with my guy. That's the guy that started it off for me. I gotta go with my guy.
It's crazy. This is my 54th episode. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think anybody has said LL Cool J. So, kudos to you. I don't think anybody said LL.
That's dope.
Yeah.
My guy.
For me, very similar. Jay-Z, Pac, Big, Nas, Ice Cube for me.
Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Ice Cube. Why Ice Cube? I don't hear that name in the top 5 a lot.
All right, so it depends how we're talking about greatest. So when I think greatest, I incorporate everything that they've accomplished.
Yeah.
So you think about Friday, you think about Boys in the Hood, you think about the Big Three. Ice Cube has been consistently great for 40 years, pretty much. And being with NWA, having his own solo album, like he has classics, he's written great music with NWA. I just think Ice Cube is top 5 for me.
Okay. Top 5. My top 5 always changes. I'm going to go Jay-Z's my number 1. Spoiler alert, I don't have Biggie or Tupac in my top 5.
Okay.
People kill me for that all the time, but I got Scarface. I think Scarface is I think Scarface is the greatest storyteller of all time in hip hop. I listened to a song the other day that I haven't heard in a long time, Mr. Scarface. Mr. Scarface is back. I forgot the name of the track, but it's like he's telling a story, and it's like it's crazy the story that he's telling. I gotta put the DOC in there. I'm gonna put Nas in there, and this throws a lot of people off curve too. I must put Phife Dawg in there.
Oh, I love Fife. I mean, Tribe. I'm with you on the Tribe. On Tribe
Yeah,
Called Quest, I'm with you on there.
I I don't know, man. I when I listen to Midnight Marauders on Low End Theory,
Hmm.
I feel like I think he got cute. I think he got tip on a lot of those songs. Um, the thing that I loved about Fife is like Fife would say things, and like it was like you should take offense to it, but he said it so smooth that you don't even know like how you should feel about it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like when he was like, um, what's the verse? What's the verse? Um, I have to come back to it. It's on Midnight Marauders though. Tell your man to chill unless he'll be tell your man to chill unless you'll be a widow, right?
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
the way that he said that, you know what I mean? Like, honey,
Yep.
tell your man to chill unless you be a widow. It's like just regular conversation, you
Yep.
know? What I mean? Like imagine somebody talking to you like that and slipping that in there,
Mm.
you know?
One of the reasons I like the Low End Theory is because of Fife Dog. Because he wasn't doing that on the People's Instinctive album.
Right.
He wasn't flowing like that. So when you listen to Low End Theory and you start hearing, Fife, you hear him on Check the Rhyme, and it's just like, whoa, where did this come from?
Right.
And it's just, and like you said, he really got tip on a couple of those songs, and yeah, it's like, and Butter's like one of my favorite joints of his, and I just, yeah, I'm glad you said Fife Dog because I feel you on that. You're right. That's not on a lot of people's, but I really love Fife Dog as well. May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Top five, what we did, favorite groups. What is your top five groups?
Ooh. All right. Favorite, right?
Yeah, your favorite
Okay.
group. It doesn't have to be, you know what I mean, politically correct. It's who you like.
Okay. For me, Slaughterhouse,
Mm.
Mobb Deep, The Locks. Ooh. We'll go left here. UGK.
Ah,
And
Bun B, Pimp C.
yeah, I love Bumby. Love Bumby. And I so the thing is, all right. So the thing is, I'm not the biggest Wu-Tang Clan. I know. Please forgive me. Man, I don't know. I'll come back.
Okay.
Yeah, I threw up the Wu W. I'm a Wu Tang fan, big time. They're my favorite group of all time. I watched the Wu Tang of Mics and Men. I've watched the Hulu series. I've Method Man. I was a big fan of Method Man, and yeah, I'm a Wu Tang fan. The Lox, I really enjoy the Lox. They're probably my second favorite group. A Tribe Called Quest, I love A Tribe Called Quest. They had their first 3 albums, all classics. And then the album they dropped in 2015 was great. Slept on. I really love A Tribe Called Quest. What's that, 3?
Mm-hmm.
Slaughterhouse, big fan of Slaughterhouse as well. Again, him and I connected through Joe Budden. And we've gone to 2 Joe Budden concerts and a Slaughterhouse concert together. So yeah, and was that 4 for me?
Yeah.
Does The Throne count?
No.
The Throne.
Yeah, that was a good album.
Yeah,
really
I think Jay-Z and Kanye as The Throne. I think that's in my top 5 as well.
I got my 5th.
Okay.
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Bone Thugs and Harmony. Okay.
Yeah.
5 for me. Tribe Called Quest is 1. Little Brothers 2.
Yeah.
Outkast is 3.
Okay.
Outkast. What am I at? 3. Man, I'm gonna put Wu-Tang in there.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Wu in there. Who would be my 5th? I put the Ghetto Boys in there.
Oh, nice.
I'll put the Ghetto Boys in there. I think the Ghetto Boys was, I think again storytelling. Every time I put on my mind is playing Tricks on me. It's probably one of the greatest hip hop albums, and just the stories that they were telling is is crazy. So I would do that. Um, what would an older version, what would a version of yourself now tell a younger version of yourself?
Wow. Musically or
Just
or
in general. Just in general.
don't waste time on people that don't deserve your time.
Mm,
I
mm,
would really I've wasted a lot of time on people that didn't deserve me to use my time on them.
mm.
That would be, and it's funny because when you ask a question like this, I think of it 360 because there's a lot of things in my life that I don't want to change. So I wouldn't want to advise myself to do something that would change certain things about my life.
Okay.
Like so it's because a lot of the things that I went through shaped me, and I would want that knowledge, but I also could have gotten that knowledge without investing so much time in it. That's why I say I would advise myself, don't put too much time into somebody or something that doesn't deserve that time.
Okay.
For me, I would say it's okay to rest. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to get your focus back. It's okay to, check your mental health. Just knowing it's okay to take a break sometimes. It's okay to take a rest sometimes. You
Okay.
work hard, but sometimes you gotta play hard too, and you gotta take it easy sometimes. So
No, I like that. Those are great. I like both of those.
Mm-hmm.
10 people that you can invite to a dinner, dead or alive. Who you
Hold
inviting?
on, hold on. I want to hear your answer.
Oh, you want to hear mine? You want to hear my answer? Um, I think I think for me, what I would tell myself is, um, just believe in yourself. You know what I mean? I think as I've gotten older, I've put more faith and more trust in me. Um, you know what I mean? I've took risks. Like this is taking a risk by doing this. I probably wouldn't have done this. I even thought about anything like this when I was younger. Even though I've been told, a lot of, oh, you should be on radio, you should do this, and I just never really paid attention to it. My wife is a big supporter of what I'm doing. My backdrop she created, the logo she created. She really believes in what I'm doing. My family believes in what I'm doing. Um, it's awesome to them that I've created this. So I think my biggest thing would just be like believe in yourself. You know what I mean? Have more faith in yourself.
Yep.
Give myself more credit.
absolutely.
10 people, dinner, dead or alive. Who you inviting?
Oh gosh. All right.
Entertainers, family, whoever you want. This is your dinner.
Oh man. I'll say entertainers. I'll go there. All right. So if they're a couple, is that can I
That's
count?
fine. That's
All right.
fine.
All right. So I gotta have the Obamas there.
Yep.
I gotta have the Carters there. J
Uh-huh.
and B. Um. Let's see. Going left, Kim Kardashian. I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions. Let's see. Um, I'm gonna say Red Fox.
Oh,
Red Fox
Okay.
fan. Prince.
Okay.
Um, LeBron James.
Okay.
Um,
I lost count.
I think that's 7. I think.
Okay.
That's 7. Yeah.
Okay. Jeff Bezos.
Okay.
I have a lot of questions. Um, Martin Luther King Jr.
That's 9. Okay.
and stay on brand, Joe Budden.
Okay. I like that.
I went the same. So the first one is a personal one for me. My grandfather. I
Yeah.
lost my grandfather in 1999. Unexpected heart attack. I didn't utilize the time with him that I should have. Again, if I would have known he was going to pass at the time he did, I would have. But yeah, I would invite my grandfather to dinner just to get some more time with him. That's my only sentimental one though. So definitely Halle Berry. I'm inviting. I've had a crush on Halle Berry for 25 years. I'm inviting her to dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta be real. He's laughing
He's on
because he
brand.
knows. He's laughing because he
Makes
knows.
sense. I know.
Yeah.
I would invite Will Smith. I've had the opportunity to meet Will Smith in person. He was very gracious with his time, so I know he would continue to be that. So yeah, I would invite Will Smith. Eddie Murphy. I need to have some humor at the table.
Yeah.
I need so Eddie Murphy and Bernie Mac. I want both of them at my dinner table. To kind of lighten the mood. And my grandfather, who's also at the dinner table, is going to crack up at everything they say. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. I am a wrestling fan as well. Grew up a wrestling fan in that era. I think as a celebrity, like, he really embraces how a celebrity should be. He likes to surprise people. If people come up to him, he gets on Instagram and takes selfies with them. He just he'll surprise fast food workers in the drive-through and things like that. He's just so he's just that kind of a people person, and I'm a fan of of that era. So yeah, I would definitely want to invite him. I'm an Eagles fan, so my favorite Philadelphia Eagle of all time is Brian Dawkins. So I want him at the table. LL Cool J, again, he started this whole hip hop thing for me. I want him. John Singleton, he's my favorite director. We're going to talk about other type of face-offs that we do in the podcast, but we've done a John Singleton face-off, and somebody. I'm going to go left also.
Okay.
Not Kim Kardashian, but I'm inviting Gordon Ramsay because I think he's hilarious and he's going to cook. So I'm thinking on this one.
Yeah.
He's gonna cook, and he's gonna come out there and say something that's gonna crack me up.
Yeah.
So, and then Gordon Ramsay, and then Eddie Murphy, Bernie Mac. My table's gonna be off the chain.
Yeah, that's a good table. Mine, I would do my grandmother. I was very, very close with my grandmother, so I would do her. My grandmother passed away in 2007, so I'll invite my grandmother. I would invite Princess Diana. I've always been fascinated with her life and who she was as a woman. Fun fact, Princess Diana was the first white woman that I ever found attractive.
Wow.
So I was in middle school when I figured that, when I realized that. I'm inviting Master P. I just think his mind, his hustle. I would love to pick his brain about his, like, just the No Limit, how he started his brand. Jay-Z, of course. I would invite Khloe Kardashian. I just love Khloe Kardashian. You know what I mean? My wife knows that. You know what I mean? That's my guilty pleasure. I love Khloe.
I understand. I understand.
I would invite Fred Hampton.
Nice.
Fred Hampton would be there just because I just believed in what he was doing, what he was trying to do. I'd invite Muhammad Ali. I think I'm at that's like 7. 8. My kids. You know what I mean? My kids. I gotta have some laughs and just just the love. My wife, of course. My family. And the last one I would invite, and I should have put this album on my my top 5 albums. I would invite Nip, man.
You're speaking his language now.
Yeah, that
Yeah, man.
Yep.
I watched the interview on All the Smoke with Big Boy, man, and he kind of broke down about it because him and Nip was close, and I read Nip, so I read Nipsey Hussle's. I have his biography. I read his book. A lot of the ways how I move with my podcast and how I've built it is built off of some sections in that book. I highlighted it because there's a ton of quotes and there's a ton of things. You know what I mean? Just a foundation that he talked about. I'm gonna send it to you guys so you can see it. But I numbered it. I just, I haven't cried in a long time. I'll be a total other than my wedding when I got married, I just cried, of course. But when Nip passed away, man, that did something to me because um, he just he it was beyond rap. He was just so smart, and he was doing so many things in his community. And when I listened to Victory Lap from the beginning to the end, I'm like, man, like we were robbed.
We were.
We were robbed. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Because he won. Well, people don't understand. He won rap album. He won Grammy for rap album of the year that year. Um, and every time I listen to Victory Lap, it just does something to me. It just makes you feel like, you know what I mean? Like, well, I'm on top now. You know what I mean? Like, I've hustled, I've did my thing, I'm on top. So, I gotta have Nip there, man.
That's a good
That's
one.
dope.
That's a good
Yeah.
That's dope. If I had 11, I would have to invite my wife as well, especially if Halle Berry's there.
I
She's
mean,
going to make sure.
Yeah.
Who you sitting next to at this dinner? Like,
Yeah. Same.
So, yeah.
Same.
A few more questions I want to ask you guys before I let you go. Talk to me a little bit about the podcast, man. Tell the people a little bit about that because not only do you guys have the face off that you guys are doing great work with, you also have your podcast that's good as well. So let's, tell people a little bit about that, man, where they can subscribe, where they can listen, man, because it's great.
So proud of the podcast.
Yeah.
It's the Are You In That Mood podcast.
Yep.
Dom and E. And Are You In That Mood is, again, a little shout to Joe Budden. He would say that on his Mood Music series. But what it is, it's a partner podcast to the face-offs that we do. And we also do a different type of face-offs, which is what I alluded to with the John Singleton. We did a John Singleton versus Spike Lee director face-off. And we've done a couple of these. We've done actor face-offs. Our first one was Denzel Washington versus Will Smith. We've done actress face-offs with the Queens, Halle Berry and Angela Bassett. And what we do on those face-offs is very similar to what we do with the music ones, but we pick scenes. So we go through the scenes of their careers. We'll pick 7 each, and we'll during the podcast we'll pit those scenes against each other and allow the audience, to choose their favorite at the end. And it's actually our actor, actress, and director face-off episodes have been our most popular episodes. And then in addition to that, we talked about the Billboard Vibe Greatest Rappers list. There was a list of the best rap disses of all time.
Yes.
So anytime there's a list like that, we do a full breakdown of those lists on the podcast. We do unpopular opinion episodes.
Yes.
We've done 21 questions episode. The Music Sermon page on IG, they did a 31 Days of Hip Hop a series, and we used that as a topic for one of our most recent podcasts. What else do we do on there?
We did. Let's see, producer, actor, actress. We did a review. We went to the 50 Cent concert.
Yes.
So we did kind of a breakdown review of the concert, and he went to
LL Cool J. I went to the Force tour.
Yeah.
Yep.
we did a breakdown of that.
Yep. As long as I'd been a fan of LL, I'd never seen him live, so that was I could check that one off. But yeah, it's just, again, it's the two of us. We do it from here in Ease, what we call Ease Place, and it's really coming up and listening to music and just paying attention to pop culture is all. I've watched a lot of movies. I've listened to a lot of music. I read Automatic magazines. I was Source, Vibe, Double XL. I was any kind of interviews I was listening to, and through all that, I've just gotten a lot of knowledge or information that I thought was really useless, and to be able to regurgitate that, have a platform to regurgitate those things. We'll have a topic, a discussion. We're talking about music. We're talking about Jodeci.
Yeah.
And then I'll sit there and be like, yeah, Jodeci, one of KC took a machete to the Billboard Awards. And it's like, I don't even know how I know that. But then I'm just like spitting out random facts, and then I'm able to actually find it and add that picture onto the thing, so people don't think I'm crazy, because that sounds wild. Like, wait a minute. It took a machete to an award show. Like, yes. And but it's just these random things that I have in my head that I'm able to really bring up in certain point of time, just to bring more context to what I'm saying with some of my crazy opinions sometimes, or just build to the conversation. And it's just a combination of the music and the movies and that we have that really just create and then I'm the talker. Like I talk a lot, and he's more laid back. Just our personalities, the way they are, like kind of mesh, and it just really provides a nice little chemistry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely
Okay.
get something.
Okay. Play a little game with you guys, man, before I let you
Oh,
go.
I'm sorry. You can catch us. The Are You in That Mood
Yep.
podcast is on YouTube at Ease Place. You can search Are You in That Mood. You can go to Ease Place and subscribe, like, follow, turn the notifications on. And we're also, that's the video version, and then the audio version is streaming on all major podcast platforms.
Okay. Thank you very much for that, man. Y'all make
Thank
sure
you
y'all
for
tap
having
make,
us.
make sure y'all tap into that, please. Play a little game with you guys. I call it either or. You just gotta
Okay.
pick one.
Uh-oh.
I probably already know what you guys are gonna pick for this one. Jay-Z or Nas?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, but Nas is dope.
Okay. Rakim or Big Daddy Kane?
Ooh.
Kane, long live the Kane.
Let's say Rakim.
Okay. Boys and Men or Jodeci?
Ooh, that's funny.
It's funny because we've had that.
You'll see that soon.
You'll see.
Okay.
Boys to Men for me.
Okay.
Oh, that's close. Jodeci.
Okay. Drake or Kanye?
Kanye.
Okay.
I'll say Drake.
Kanye,
I'll say Drake.
not Kanye. Kanye. I like
would say
Kanye.
I would say Drake for that one too. Dr. Dre or Timbaland?
Oh, Timberland's my guy, so Timbo.
Baltimore club music or go-go?
Oh man.
Oh.
I gotta throw that one in there because a lot of
I'm
people
in
in
PG,
Boston.
so I gotta say go-go.
Yeah, a lot of people in Boston they don't know anything about
They
it. So
have there's so
I gotta
many
do
people
some
that have
hometown.
no idea.
I gotta do some hometown love right quick.
Yes, I'm Baltimore club music.
Yeah, I remember the basement parties back in the day, and the Baltimore club music going on. Like, I didn't go to too many go-go's, but every time I went to a basement party, you already know what was going on. The DJ just was spinning the club music. It's crazy because I watched the Ravens game not too long ago, over the weekend, and I could hear them playing the club music, and I was like, people probably like, what the hell is that? But
And what people that aren't from this region that they don't understand is that as close as Baltimore and DC, so DC is the go-go area. That's go-go. Baltimore, obviously Baltimore club music. DC and Baltimore, the cities are 35 miles apart.
Yeah.
But people from Baltimore cannot stand go-go music.
Yeah.
People from DC cannot stand Baltimore club. It is a strict, like you're playing one or the other.
Yeah.
There's not a world where you can transition from Baltimore club to go-go because you're not going to be in the same audience with people that enjoy both of them in this area, even though the cities are so close together.
That's so true.
Yeah. Biggie Smalls or Ice Cube?
Biggie.
Baby. Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna say Ice Cube, but
Okay.
somebody had a debate. That was a debate. Ice Cube. Somebody said, like, why can't Ice Cube be the greatest MC of all time? I forgot what I was watching, but it was a podcast, and I was like, I found that interesting. Jordan or LeBron?
I'm Jordan.
I'm LeBron.
My son's name is Jordan. I'm a big Michael Jordan fan.
I think I had one more. Little Kim or Foxy Brown?
Wow.
Lil' Kim for me.
Okay. Only female to get 5 mics in the source is Little Kim. Just saying.
Yep.
Facts.
The question would be for me, was it deserved?
Naked Truth was good.
These are the type of conversations that we have on the Are You in That Mood?
The Naked Truth was a good album.
There was a good album. She also happened to be dating a reporter from the Source, an editor from the Source.
Oh, okay.
So
I ain't know all that.
Again, this is the kind of stuff so I'll always question that 5 mics on that one. But I'm gonna say Foxy.
That's tough.
I'm gonna say Foxy. Very very good question and very well timed question, since again on that channel we also have mini face-offs, and we just posted a Foxy Brown versus Little Kim mini face-off.
Yeah.
So very 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 excellent timing, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Before I let y'all go, man, last thing. What advice would you guys give me?
Keep doing it, man. Keep doing it. Now, I will say, I wanted to say this. I've been following you for a while. You did an interview with Jay Flame. I don't know if you remember.
Shout out Jay Flame, man. It's my brother.
I know him. I've known him for a while. So when I saw that, I said, "Oh, what's this?" And I've been following you ever since, man.
Thank you, man.
Keep
Thank
doing your thing, man. You're killing it out here. You know, like you said, keep believing in yourself. I mean, you got a great thing going on, man.
Thank
So,
you. I really appreciate
keep
that.
doing
Yeah, shout out to Jay Flame, man.
My advice to you would have been, if there's an interview you want, go for it and be persistent. But it sounds like you already did that.
I got a few. I got a few more. Like I got a few more that I I'm trying, man, my hardest, man. I just DOC he checks his Instagram a lot. You know what I mean? But I've reached out to like a ton of people, man, and I'm just. It'll happen. You know what I mean? I just gotta connect with the right one and the right person. But I definitely I'm definitely going to continue that, man, because I want to make this as as good as possible. You know what I mean? And if I don't get another big interview, you know what I mean, interviewing people like that are doing incredible things like yourself and other people that I've had on here, like I'm fine with that. I'm comfortable with that. My advice to you two is just keep doing what y'all doing, man. I love what y'all doing. I love what y'all building. I really do. When I come back home, I'm definitely going to have to stop by and check y'all out, man. Because I just genuinely love what y'all doing, man. And I admire what y'all doing. And that's the reason why I reached out to both of you and just like, hey, I want y'all to come on here because it's nice to get on here, man, and talk hip hop. It's nice to get on here and talk, music and talk a lot of the things that, I love. You guys do an incredible job at that, man. So my advice to you guys is just keep working hard, man, and just keep doing what y'all doing. I'm always here to support y'all. So whatever you need from me, you know what I mean? Y'all want me to hop on a live while y'all do, a face off. Y'all want to pick my brain about something. Y'all want to collaborate, do something together. You just let me know, man. You know what I mean? I'm here for all of it.
We will definitely holler. And a little life advice from newlywed to newlywed. Communicate. Always communicate.
Yeah.
Communication is the best thing to saving a relationship.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. And and that's what I've been trying to do, just make sure I communicate. I'm lucky to have her in my life. I don't know where my life would be at without her. I tell her this all the time. I'm the lucky one because she just brought so much love to my life. And it's just been great. So my plan is to be married to her for the rest of my life until I'm gone. That's it, man. So I appreciate you guys because it seemed like you've been married for about a year. You've been married for 15. So we definitely need to keep in touch because I feel like I can learn a lot from both of you. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Likewise, brother.
Yeah. But man, y'all stay in there, man. Thank you for being part of episode 54 of the Hang With A podcast. I appreciate both of you.
If I can say one last thing.
Yep, go ahead.
September.
Yep.
We're going to be doing our live battle, like live.
Okay.
You're invited.
Okay.
You and your wife are invited. So we're going to keep you, in the loop of things. But September, if you can, keep it open, man.
Okay. It's gotten bigger and bigger every year. And,
okay.
We're going to blow it up.
Yes,
definitely. Let me know, man. Let me know. I definitely would try my hardest to get there for that, man.
Okay.
But thank you for your support.
Yeah,
no problem.
Thank you for inviting us on here.
No problem, man. Anything that I can do to help, man, please don't hesitate. Please reach out.
Okay.
Thank you.
For sure.
All right.
Appreciate you. All right, brother.
All right, man. Take care.